We're living on a disk, floating through space, with a tiny sun.
Hey, I'm FTFE, welcome back to the channel that does the stupidity what Ultravision is attempting to do to the entire multiverse. If you haven't been watching Marvel's What If, what are you even doing with your life? Welcome back to the channel, guys. We are here tonight for not a debate, but a discussion. Hopefully this will be a little less tempered than the normal dumpster fires that we get. As I always explain to the people that I'm talking to, the conversation is led by them. If they wish to have a decent back and forward, then that's how it will go. If they want to shout at me and call names, then, you know, dumpster fires happen. But hopefully the person I'm speaking to tonight, it shouldn't go with that. Let me introduce her. Her name is Victoria. Victoria, would you like to say hello to everybody?
Well, hello, everyone. I am surprised I'm doing this, but hey.
I appreciate you joining. I know you weren't sure about this and a little bit nervous, but I promised to be on my best behavior. Also, I say that to you guys, you know what I'm like, I will be on my best behavior. Please don't worry, let's just have a decent conversation, because I've seen you talking on the Facebook group, and I know that you do have some questions that have been answered a lot of times before, and some actually ones that are kind of new, or at least phrased in a new way. So why don't you just take a couple of minutes, introduce yourself, and explain your position of why you think what you think, and then you had a question for me. So let's just go from there.
Okay. Well, a lot has led me to this, so it's not just like one video that I could relate to. I guess I've researched, first I'll start with my actual education. Granted, it was for interior design, but with that comes a lot of mathematics and perspective and understanding how you visually see something. And with that knowledge, it led me to, well, not that really, separately, I learned about chakras, which also taught me about frequencies, energies, the connection with the universe and how it's all correlated, birth charts, all of that, like astrology, I guess, but like it's more on a personal level, I guess. And then also with religion, which I know a lot of people like to leave out of this, but for me, it's very fundamental to the understanding of our universe. So a lot of my thoughts come from that, but are backed with more, not poetic, I guess you could say, more facts of what was written. And then, yeah, just visual reality.
Okay. So you studied interior design, and like you said, a lot of that is perspective and stuff. So yeah, I mean that is a good place to start. It from
And
you know, if you want, and mathematics. Yeah, it does give you a way to observe the world. You know, without wanting to be nasty, I did notice that there wasn't any STEM qualifications there, and physics, at actual higher level maths or anything like that. And I feel like a lot of the misunderstandings come from not knowing the what actually goes behind the physics of the universe. I mean, I don't want to put it like saying that you're uneducated, because you've gone to college, you've studied what you want to,
and that's where my questions come in.
Okay, so yeah, please go ahead with your question for me.
Okay, so this recently came up, and it's came up a few times on the groups and stuff, but like when you take a photo of Earth from space and you see the continents scaled fully like one size, and then you zoom in, the sphere is the same of Earth, and yet the continents change their scale to be larger.
Yeah, that is perspective is the simple answer there. And this has been replicated many times. Like if I show you this photograph here, this was taken by someone in the community called Tommy Gronveld.
Yes, now, I don't understand this.
This is the same globe, taken with the same camera. Simply all he did was move away from it and change the focal length, and that's it. Now, the best way to way to understand it is, imagine a camera being really close to the globe, and how much of it could see if it was up close. Now, if you move away, that gives you more space to see further around the globe. It widens your field of view. So if you're up close,
no, you're right. This is so crazy.
Like...
Literally, I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt.
That's okay. That's okay.
So many people have tried to explain this to me, and only right now am I visually being able to understand what you're saying. So thank you for that. Honestly, maybe that was the reason why I needed to.
No worries. I mean,
if
you have more questions about that in particular, the best thing to do is to do that yourself. Find a globe of decent size and just take a picture standing up close to it, and then a picture taking away. Or even record a video. Go up close and start recording a video and move away, and you will see how the size of the continents do change relative to it. Okay. That is a question that we've had quite a lot, which is obviously why we've got a demonstration like that, because yes, it can appear.
Yeah, that was great that you had it available.
You are right that it can appear in a lot of photos that the continents are different sizes. But awesome, thank you. I'm a little bit shocked because, like I explained to you, the conversations aren't usually nice. And I would show a flat earther that, and they would normally just shout at me about me faking it or something. So it's a little bit shocking to have someone go, you're right.
Yeah. Sorry. Well,
that's okay.
That wasn't a strong reason for my disbelief in globe. Trust me, it's a lot deeper than just this question, but that one has always stumped me. Never understood it until right now.
Okay.
So that was cool.
Cool. So let's go move on to other questions that you have about the globe. Anything at all?
Not off the top of my head, to be honest. I was thinking more of explaining why I believe it's not why it's flat.
Okay. Well, please go. Do that. If you give your reasons and why you think that it's flat, and we'll go from there.
All right. I thought of this all before, and yet I'm drawing a blank.
That's always the way. Don't worry.
Okay. I guess the first thing that comes to mind is the compass. Right, just a generic, simple compass before you bring in all the other ones. Mm-hmm. It is always, the pin is always pointing north, correct? Yeah,
there are different compasses depending on if you're in northern or southern hemisphere. But yes, if you're in the northern hemisphere, you use a normal compass. Can you explain those? Well, they're designed to, react to the positive or the negative charges of the north and south of the Earth. So if you
so then it could point south as well.
Yeah, but you have specific compasses that are designed for that, and they will always see the when you say pointing towards north isn't really the correct way to describe it. What a compass does is it follows a line of magnetic field. So
yes, okay, yeah, I understand that too.
Yeah, so you've seen how a magnetic field
yes.
You can see the different loops going out from it. A compass will always follow those lines. If the north is the positive charge, then the negative side of the needle will always follow that magnetic line which is going towards the north. So the compass will, to you, always appear to point to the north.
Okay, so with all that, I agree there's a magnetic field around us. That is like the core belief of flat Earth, I believe. And like that is Earth's axis. That is the central force, central everything of our universe. So like you have the sphere of Earth and then a flat plane dividing the waters below and the sky above, waters above, however you want to look at it. We have a dome above our Earth that is our low Earth orbit. And above that are 7 atmospheres, domes, firmaments, heavens, however you want to look at it, extending above. 1 planet for each of those 7 domes, 7 planets, 7 domes, 7 chakras, 7, so many things. I could explain more of that later, but that is a general setup of our universe. And our plane divides that. It's neutral, positive, negative, south. Well, no, north isn't up like that. Sorry, excuse me.
That's okay.
The central pole, North Pole's true north, not, I shouldn't say North Pole either, actually. It's true north is a magnetic pole of our universe. And that is why the compass points towards that central force, because that's a positive, and then south is anywhere outward. And if you think of a compass, it should be parallel. When you're holding it, it has to be flat, parallel, level with our Earth for it to truly work.
Well, yeah, that's
So
because
that
they're
will
weighted.
count.
The compass needles are weighted, so that the end that is being attracted is up, which is why you have to hold it flat, because if you don't hold it flat, it doesn't allow the needle to move freely. And you know, the reason for that is the needle is literally weighted so that the end that is attracted is free to move.
Yeah, that works on a flat plane.
But where would the magnetic field be generated from on a flat plane? What would cause that?
The atmosphere is rotating around our axis, our central core.
Why would that cause a magnetic field that emanates from
Everything
what
is
appears to be below
electromagnetic.
us?
Our whole universe is energy. Like it's created by that's like, even it goes into gravity. That force created by these atmospheres, the 7 of them, all in their own rotation, each having their own planet, rotating above this central plane, and that's my universe.
Okay, but there isn't layers of atmosphere that rotate differently. That's just factually not true. In fact, a friend and colleague of mine recently sent up a weather balloon to 36 kilometers up, where the atmosphere went up to, I think it was 10 to the 2 torr, which is practically a vacuum, and there was no sign of a dome or other layers of atmosphere or anything. It was just, you know,
do you know what
low
low Earth orbit?
Low Earth orbit is, about 200 miles up.
Okay, I don't know mathematics to it, but I know that there is a low Earth orbit, and that is all we've been able to travel to. We can measure.
We went to the moon.
Space. What?
We went to the moon, and we sent robots to Mars and the sun, and there's a probe that just is orbiting Mercury at the moment. I mean, how can you say it's a belief when we can literally watch it? You know, we can see what the robots are doing.
Have you watched the moon landing?
I've watched all the moon landings, yes, and there's nothing out of the ordinary about them. Why wouldn't you believe it? There's nothing out of the ordinary about it when you understand the physics behind what you're supposed to be able to see. The what, sorry?
Oh, sorry. No, I was just speaking out loud. Never mind. Go ahead. Sorry.
What is your issues specifically with the moon landing? Because that I think that's something that's important, because if we can demonstrate that we have in fact been further than low Earth orbit, that would kind of counter what you're saying. So would you mind if we just have a little discussion about the moon landing? What specifically is your issues with that?
Sure. Okay, I'll have 3, starting with, do you trust your president? Well, not your current president.
Well,
let's say
my prime
Obama.
minister, I'm pretty sure, is an animated scarecrow. So trust is a strong word, but
Mm, no, I mean, like, what do you? True, trust. I shouldn't have used that word, but our president has said we have not been. Well, not our president. I keep saying that, but a president of America has admitted that we have not been past low Earth orbit.
who said that?
So that
As far as I'm aware,
Obama, President
no president has said that we've never
President Obama
been.
past
Uh,
low Earth orbit.
do you have evidence of
I
that
could
claim?
do the evidence meaning what? The clip of
Me-
it?
Yeah, a
Him
clip of him
saying it?
saying that we've never been past
Yeah.
low Earth orbit. Yeah.
Yes.
Are you able to
I
send
mean,
that to me?
I'm not savvy right now to be
That's
able to
okay.
figure out and that to you, but
Yeah,
yeah.
I mean, I've heard this claim before, and he he never said we've never been past low Earth orbit. He's talking about the fact that at the moment we can't go past low Earth orbit, and I don't think any president, as far as I'm aware, has ever said that we've never been past low Earth orbit. In fact, Obama
So
extensively talked about the moon landings, and it was Obama that spearheaded the initiative that ended up in being the Artemis Project, with them going back to the moon.
okay. And the reasoning we can't go back to the moon is because we don't have the technology to do so,
Well, no,
or it's not worth.
we've built new technology. That's what the Artemis project is. Currently, there's a massive bidding war between the big money guys, Jeff Bezos and Elon Musk. NASA have asked for a private company to build the lander to go to the moon for the new mission, the Artemis mission. And SpaceX basically won the bidding war for that with their design. And then Jeff Bezos got really angry and has tried to sue NASA and SpaceX to say that it's not fair that he wasn't awarded the contract. So there's new technology being built by several different companies. When they say we lost the technology, what they mean was that they didn't build any more Apollo rockets, and they weren't like reusable like modern day rockets are. So once the Apollo rockets were used, they couldn't really be used again. And they didn't keep the factories and stuff that were needed to build that particular equipment. It's the same as saying that we've lost the technology to build a Ford Model T. The first production car that
Yeah.
was ever made, the Ford Model T, right? There was hundreds of thousands, possibly millions of those made. But we've lost the technology to make those. That doesn't mean we can't make better stuff. It's just we've lost the technology because we rebuilt the factories, reused the tools, repurposed what we had. We wouldn't want to go.
Oh,
Here's one thing that a lot of people don't understand about the moon missions is that every astronaut that went to the moon was they knew that there was less than a 50% chance that they were going to survive what they were doing. Going to the moon in the Apollo rockets was a dangerous undertaking. They weren't safe. They weren't comfortable. They weren't, they weren't great. They were sufficient to let America win the race to get to the moon. But it's not something that you would want to go to the moon in. That's why we lost that technology, because we didn't want to build it anymore. So, and it would be a extremely.
So what technology are we building now to
well,
do what?
like I said, let's look at what SpaceX have got. They've got reusable rockets that can land backwards on drones in the sea, or in Unison, a launch pad in Florida. We've got civilian spaceflight from not only rockets but aeroplanes that then carry rockets further up into space. We've got civilian spaceflight that's gone higher than the ISS recently. We've got the entire Artemis project with newly designed rockets that are designed to be much more durable and reusable, as well as the two main companies, SpaceX and Blue Origin, competing to build the actual lander to go down to the moon. You've got
So can I ask
SpaceX
just one
building. Yeah, sorry, go on.
It's okay. All of this stuff that you just explained us doing is all within low Earth orbit.
No, the Artemis project is designed
So
to go
we've
to the moon.
been past it. So we've been past it again.
Not
We've been
recently.
past
No,
it.
we haven't. Not since the moon
But
missions.
we're on Mars.
Yeah, robots are on Mars. Yes, Mars is a planet in our solar system
So we've been
inhabited
past-
entirely by robots. But humans haven't been past low Earth orbit since the moon landings. And
Okay.
do you know the reasons for that?
You could explain them.
It's simple: politics and money, right? So America went to the moon, what, 7 times, whatever. You know, they brought back a bunch of rocks. They played golf. They drove a buggy, and by the Apollo 17, public interest in it had waned. The space race had been won. At that point, there was no reason for the American government to pump so much of their budget into going back to the moon, because frankly, they'd done everything that they could do on the moon at that point. So the next administration that came in reduced NASA's budget severely. They literally didn't have the money to go to the moon because it costs a lot. So instead, they came up with the initiative for the International Space Station so that they could be in space for a long time, but in low Earth orbit, so that we could learn about the effects of space on the human body, or on growing plants, on animals, and so that we could figure out how to survive in space. And being in the ISS for as long as we have, doing all the experience we've had, has given us a lot of data that will help astronauts that are going further, i.e. the moon and Mars, to survive. The reason why we didn't go back to the moon after all the moon missions was simply because the government stopped giving NASA as much money.
Okay.
So when people say that the moon landings were faked, and there's a lot of reasons why I would disagree with that. And one of the main reasons is the recordings that we get. Okay. Now, this is a little bit deep to understand, but it's all to do with the technology that existed at the time for recording. Now, when you see the people on the moon, it looks like they're in slow motion, right?
Okay, yeah, I guess.
Yeah. So the claim usually is that, well, they've taken footage of them bouncing around on the stage and they've slowed it down. But that presents a problem. That presents a big problem, right? Because at the time, in the 60s and early 70s, there wasn't digital storage. There was only physical media, okay? And to be able to show something in slow motion meant that you had to do something that they called overcranking. And that is to record it in more frames per second than it actually was. So then when you played it back at normal speed, it would appear slow. The problem with that was the size of physical tapes that existed could only have up to 12 or 13 seconds of overcranked footage stored on them at a time. And that's why in movies at that time, there was never slow motion scenes that were ever very long or anything, because it was really, really hard to do. The physical media storage simply did not exist. So for the footage of the moon landings, with them all bouncing around for as long as they did, there would have needed to be more physical storage than existed on the planet at the time.
Okay. I mean, I hear what you're saying, but for me, it's hard for me to believe that. And another thing that makes me feel like it's hard to believe it is if you're on the moon, you take a picture, you could see the curvature of that moon. Or like not even the
What do you mean they could see the curvature?
You could see the surface of the moon while you also see this full sphere of the globe. But from Earth, you can't take a picture of the land and see the moon at the same time.
So you're saying that if I got down close to the ground and took a photo, I couldn't also have the moon in the footage?
Unless it's like really perfectly lined up at a specific orbit. Yeah, no, you can't. Well, not the way that it's shown from the moon to the globe.
Right, I think the best way to answer that question is to actually show you a simulated model of it. Now, I have a system, okay. I have a model called Solar System Scope, which is a fantastic program. I would advise anybody to download it and use it. There's a free version or a paid version, which gives you slightly higher resolution. So let me bring this up. Desktop capture. Okay, you see it? Okay, so let's...
Oh, hold on. Oh, crap.
You okay?
My son just woke up. Yeah, my son woke up. I'm going to have to cut this short, which is super unfortunate.
Okay.
But I'm sorry.
That's okay. We can continue at another time. I hope your son's okay. I'll tell you what.
Can you leave off at this point? Because this is a really I think, good point to
absolutely.
catch up on.
You go and deal with your son, and I'll speak to you another time, okay?
First.
All right. Thank you for coming on, and we will continue this conversation, all right? You have a nice day.
You too.
All right. Bye-bye. Okay. That's unfortunate that she had to go, because I think that could have been a very productive conversation. And in fact, I think the MC Toon touch could be required here, because frankly, I struggle if it's not a dumpster fire. I'm not a teacher. And in fact, Toon, are you free? You want to pop on and have a quick chat? I'll send you the link. Oh, what's PhD Tony saying? Jose is a loser. Are we talking about Jose JG Gonzalez here? What's going on? Interesting. Oh, Flat Feet Pete in the chat. Yeah, so that's unfortunate that she had to go, but you know, she's got a kid. I understand that that's fine, so we can continue that conversation. But like I said, I do think a MC Toon touch would be nice there. Right, so tomorrow we've got another guaranteed debate with possibility of a big dumpster fire. Someone called Trey Hutchinson, who, if anyone's around on the Facebook groups, they will certainly know the mean spam of Trey Hutchinson, but he has enthusiastically agreed to a debate and like, oh man, I can't wait to do this. So tomorrow there is very likely to be a dumpster fire. And then Thursday, PhD Tony will be having a talk with Wendell about gravity, which will be very, very interesting. Super Ghost says if she isn't a poet and actually listened, there might be hope for her. Well, she conceded the very first point about the continents being different sizes, which was impressive. She's obviously open to hearing information. Now, I'm not going to call her stupid, because you know what? She's got an education, be it an interior design or what. You have to have some level of intelligence to be able to pass a course of some kind. Outlier there is obviously Sleeping Warrior somehow getting a law degree. Apparently it's confirmed he does have a law degree, but fuck knows how, because he doesn't understand law. I think MC2 might be busy now because he's not responding. I would love him to come in and have a chat and see what he thinks about that. Yes, Stellarian Castle. Tomorrow will be a nice dumpster fire. So there probably isn't much more to do tonight if she had to leave. It's unfortunate, but I think it could be a more interesting conversation. Maybe even get PhD Tony or someone in to talk to her as well, because they understand things about gravity a bit more than me. And, you know, they're a real person, considering they have a PhD and I don't. I've got a new episode of Flerfs Are Idiots, which should be coming out Wednesday, which is about Sleeping Warrior being a child predator. He's going to try and sue me or something. It's going to be hilarious. And then I've got, very soon after that, probably the next day or two after that, will be the second part of my Flerfs Get Arrested. And then the next video will be with Brainy Beaver, which will be part 4 of my level debunk. And hopefully they should all come within the next 10 days or so, because they're all pretty much prepared. I'm pumping up the output. If you haven't seen my new channel art, then please go and give that a look. I think all that's left for tonight then is to read some super chats and go to bed. So thank you everyone for being here. It really does mean the world. Bella Charge says $2. I'm sorry, Fight. From her photo, she wins. Oh, you saying that I'm not good looking? Like, would you much rather look at her than me? Come on, look at me. Ignore the massive spot on my nose. I'll cover that up. Yeah, look at me. I'm fucking gorgeous. Hide the spot. Yeah, I'm gorgeous. See? Gorgeous. Alison for $5 says, good morning, lads and ladies. Stay hydrated. Now in classic Flerf Buster tradition, why is all navigation based on a globe? Alison, the answer is because the Earth's a fucking globe. J Mike's Movie Nights for $4.99 says, what if it's essential watching for any MCU fan? Venom romantic comedy is not Venom. Yeah, I can probably say that What If is probably the best MCU thing that I've ever watched. It kicks the movie's asses and totally flips the script on what you think you know about the MCU. And I love the way that they've turned Tony Stark, Iron Man, into like a killed Kenny thing. Bella Charge, free super chat because you're a member. says 7 domes, Flerfs can't even show one. Yeah, I was going to get to the planets thing, because she said 7 domes for 7 planets, and I was going to actually show her the planets. Lord Luminous Poo for $2 says, I hear you, but my incredulity is flaring up. About what? About her being not a Poe? I think she's sincere. She seems decent from what I've heard. And then we've got Timo Leach, €5, says, did you lose weight? Just kidding. I'm glad you're over a nasty bug and back in good health. I did lose a lot of weight when I was fucking vomiting my guts up, yes. The copyrighted FTFE weight loss plan called Puke Your Weight Away. Lord Luminous Poo for another $10 says, Doctor Strange claims to be a sorcerer, but he prepares his spells from a book and is clearly of a higher intelligence and a lower charisma for in this essay I will... What? Scorpio Nick says, is Tony Lime still coming back? Yeah, he's been a bit quiet on Facebook, but he said that he definitely wants to come back, but he was busy last week. He wants to talk specifically about gravity and evolution. I may bring Team Skeptic in on that one. If you like a dumpster fire, you know that's a good thing, right? So there's that. Then we got Eon Dust for $5 Fight sexier than any Flerf any day. Yeah, I am fucking gorgeous, and you all know it. Oh, wait, where's female FTFE gone? I was going to break your eyes. Here we go. Look at me. You know I'm fucking gorgeous. You know you would. Everyone look at that and honestly tell themselves they wouldn't do it. You can't, can you? Because you know you would. Oh, and Brendan Cuskelly coming in with a $50 super chat said, did I miss the debate? We got about half an hour in, and she unfortunately had to leave because her daughter had woken up. Which is cool, but she seemed like a decent enough person and conceded the very first point that we had. So there is that. But hopefully she'll come back and we'll have a conversation. And I would love to get MC Toon in on that. Josh Costa says, I listened to FTFE while working on What If. Josh Costa, you've been working on What If? As in, like, you're part of the team? Because if that's true, have I misread that? Do you work on Marvel? Do you want to get me a job? Stop Faking says, I can't wait for her to try to invoke biblical text whilst invoking astrology, a form of paganism according to Christianity and MFO. Now, I might be wrong here, but from her posts on Facebook, I think she might be I'm sure she talked about Islam and the Quran. If I'm wrong, then I'm happy for her to correct me. I think she may be a Muslim. I'm not entirely sure, though. But reading all her posts on Facebook, that's what I get the impression of. So I think any kind of biblical cosmology or anything will be more based on the Quran, which, I'll be honest, I don't know about that. And we've got Philosopher King Game of $2 says, see if you can bring Aaron Ra in for an evolution debate. Oh, that would be fun. That would be very fun. Did you guys see the poll that I had up? The flat earth is the internet's pet rock or dangerous cult. 415 votes so far. 46% say the internet's pet rock and 54% say a dangerous cult. I probably should have put a both option there because I think it's both. It is the internet's pet rock, but it's also a very dangerous cult. Right, seems like MC Toon is not around. So we're going to probably call that a night. Like I said, I'll be back tomorrow with Trey Hutchinson. And it's going to be an epic dumpster fire. Robisky says Polish Muslim, not common. I may be wrong. I may be absolutely wrong about that, but who knows. But come back tomorrow for Monday Night Debates, and we will probably have a dumpster fire for that. And then come back on Wednesday for a new episode of Flerfs for Idiots. Then Thursday for a debate with Tony. And then probably Friday for another Flerfs for Idiots. And then when me and Beaver get the next one sorted, you come back for that. I will see you guys soon. I love you all from the bottom of my heart. You are the best audience that I could ever wish for. Please share what I do. Help me reach 50k. It's been a bit slow growth with subscribers lately, but that's YouTube. They don't seem to be promoting my videos as much as they were, but it's all peaks and valleys, and I'm sure another peak will come along soon. Hopefully the new channel art and the bunch of videos I'm putting out can help. But please do share what I do, because that massively helps my channel reach new audiences and helps me grow and helps my debates be more successful. But I will see you all soon. Remember, stupidity is not a right. Fight the flat earth.
Fight the flat, 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 fight the flat. fight the fly.